John Wallace, Wild Game Cook. Today we're going to be making some pheasant parm. We're simply going to take our pheasant breasts, we're going to pound them out thin, we're going to bread them in a little flour, egg wash, some breadcrumbs, and then we're going to ultimately top them with some marinara, some Italian parsley, and some fresh mozzarella cheese. Our pheasant breasts have been sitting out for a little bit to help bring it up to room temp. We're now going to go ahead and pound them to where they're about 1/4 inch thick. As I was pounding out this pheasant breast, I actually ended up finding a piece of shot. So it's good to keep a paper towel on hand. You can also help yourself by getting rid of any internal blood that may be within inside the meat. Make sure you get that shot out. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the tenderloin. Remove that little piece of membrane that's in between the tenderloin and the breast meat. You want to focus on the thicker part of the pheasant breast. But that's what you're looking for right there. Before we dust these in flour, we're going to go ahead and season with a little bit of salt and pepper. By salting your meat, you won't have to worry about seasoning the flour or the breadcrumbs. Of course, our breadcrumbs are Italian flavored, so they're already seasoned. We'll season up our tenderloins. This keeps it simple and allows the meat to shine through. We're going to crack 2 eggs. We'll whisk these up very, very well. And this will be our egg wash. Go ahead and dump a little bit of flour in our first station here. We'll take our Italian breadcrumbs and put them in our last station. We're simply just going to take our pheasant breasts, we're going to lightly dust them in the flour. It looks like that. Transfer it to the egg wash. So it's completely covered. And then into the breadcrumbs. Make sure that it's good and covered. We're going to allow these to sit for about 20 minutes once they have been breaded. This is going to allow for the breading to adhere to the pheasant breast. Get them to look like that. We're going to do this with all 4, and we'll move on to our next step. All right, now that we've got our pheasant breaded, we're going to go ahead and preheat our skillet. We've got our oven preheating at 450. That's going to help us melt this mozzarella cheese. Right now, we're just going to dice up some parsley. We've got our sauce. We're going to slice up some mozzarella, and then we're going to fry up our pheasant. This is my first time using fresh mozzarella. We're just going to cut it super thin. Should taste a little bit for science purposes, right? Really good. Our pan is starting to smoke, which means we're ready to start frying. I'm going to go ahead and break out my apron. Our oil is now smoking, so we are preheated and ready to go. Let's start out with the tenderloin so we can get a little test batch going. Plus, this will be a nice little snack for the chef. Looking pretty good. We'll go ahead and add in just a little bit more oil. We're going to go in with our first pheasant breast. We're going to fry all 4 of these until they're golden brown on both sides. Should take about 2 minutes per side. We're then going to put them on this drying rack so they stay crisp. Round 1 complete. Going to go add in a little bit more oil. Let that come back up to temp. We're going to drop in round 2. All right, we're going to go ahead and flip. We're going to go about another minute, minute and a half on this side, and then we'll start assembling. All right, our pheasant is now done. Turn off our heat. All right, now that they're done frying, we're going to go ahead and put these into our baking dish. We're going to go ahead and ladle over just a little bit of sauce. We don't want to drown them out. And then we're going to layer over our fresh mozzarella. Provolone would also work in this instance, but those look amazing. We're going to top it off with a little bit of Italian parsley. You could also use basil. We're going to go ahead and put this in the oven. It's on 450 degrees. We've put it on broil so that it helps melt that cheese and not overcook the pheasant. Again, looks beautiful, pheasant parm. We're going to drop this in the oven just until the cheese starts to melt and maybe gets a little bit of color to it. All right. It's been about 6 or 7 minutes. The cheese is melted. We're going to pull it out. Right there it is, pheasant parm. Now that we've pulled it out of the oven, we're going to hit it with just a little bit of salt and pepper on top of that mozzarella. Today we're going to go ahead and serve this over angel hair pasta. You could eat it plain. You could eat it as a sandwich. You could take any extra breaded breast or tenderloins, use them as chicken tenders, use them for picky eaters in the house. Sky's the limit. So we're going to go ahead and dress this up. There you have it, pheasant parm over angel hair. All right, let's go ahead and tear into this and give it a bite. So good. Not over seasoned. Super tender because we tenderized that pheasant meat. The cheese is nice and melted. Not too much sauce. This one's super easy, yet super fancy. Make sure you give it a try.